Let's go on a little journey. Imagine, high in the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, a land of ancient stone towers and just jaw-dropping landscapes. But we're not just looking at the scenery. We're diving into a linguistic mystery, a language that's been tucked away from the rest of the world for literally thousands of years.
So, our destination is Svaneti. It's this incredibly rugged and beautiful region in northwestern Georgia. And because it's so tucked away in these deep river valleys, that isolation has preserved more than just old traditions. It's preserved an even more ancient voice.
Because right here, hidden in these valleys, the Svan people speak a language that is a genuine linguistic puzzle. You know, it's like a living key that could unlock the very origins of the entire Georgian language family.
Okay, let's get into it. The language is called Svan, or as the people who speak it call it, Lushnun. Now, it's part of the Kartvelian language family, which, yes, includes Georgian. But here's the fascinating part. The speakers, the Svans, they see themselves as part of the Georgian nation, but their language, it's completely different.
So, you see, to really understand this language, we first have to get to know the people who speak it and their really unique place in history. The Svans are just a fascinating case study in identity. They are Georgians, but their language is so different from Standard Georgian that if you speak one, you can't understand the other. They're mutually unintelligible. And their homeland's isolation, well, that created this fierce spirit of independence. For centuries, a big chunk of their land was actually known as Free Svaneti because they fought off control from outside feudal lords, which helped preserve their incredible culture.
And this linguistic independence, well, it isn't a new thing. So if Svan is part of this Kartvelian family, where does it fit in with its siblings? You know, Georgian, Laz, and Mingrelian. Well, it turns out Svan isn't just a sibling. It's the oldest one in the family. By a lot.
This timeline just blows my mind. Look at that first split way back in the 2nd millennium BC. We're talking up to 4,000 years ago. A single proto-language split in two. One branch became Svan, and the other branch became, well, everything else. It took another 1,000 years before Georgian and its closer relatives even started to go their separate ways.
So we've used this term mutually unintelligible, but what does that really feel like? Just how wide is the gap between Svan and its much more famous sibling, Georgian?
This is just a perfect analogy from linguist Kevin to it. Think about it for a second. English and Icelandic are both Germanic languages, right? They have common roots, but as an English speaker, you can't just listen to Icelandic and get it. They've been on their own paths for over 1,000 years. That is the scale of the difference we're talking about here. And this family tree, I mean, this is the visual proof right here. Look at how Skan just branches off right at the root. This isn't just some cousin language. It's more like a distant ancestor, perfectly preserved in the mountains while all the other languages kept evolving together for another millennium. Skan really is in a league of its own. Okay, let's pivot from its family history to its unique voice. Because the way Svan sounds is one of the most remarkable things about it. It has a complexity that its relatives lost a long, long time ago. Okay, brace yourself for this one. Modern Georgian has a nice, clean, 5-vowel system. E, I, O, U. Simple. But the Upper Balts dialect of Svan, it doesn't have 5 vowels. It has 18. No, that's not a typo. 18 distinct vowel sounds. And you might be wondering, how on earth do you get to 18? Well, this table shows you exactly how. The dialect has 9 unique vowel qualities, including sounds like O and U that Georgian lost ages ago. Then, it makes a distinction between a short and a long version of every single one, which doubles the inventory. It's just an incredible level of complexity. Because Svan split off so incredibly early, it basically acts as a linguistic time capsule. It's held onto these really archaic sounds from the original parent language, sounds that its sister languages, including Georgian, have all lost over the millennia. It's like hearing a living echo from a much more ancient world. So these ancient sounds are the building blocks, right? Now let's see how they actually come together in the vocabulary, because the words themselves tell a story of both a shared past and a very unique culture. Now this is really cool. You can totally see the family connection in a word like spear, Svan sub, and Georgian shubi. But then you see words that are completely unique to Svan, like Del. That's the name for the swan goddess of the hunt, and there's just no direct equivalent in Georgian mythology. This shows how the vocabulary holds onto a whole distinct cultural world. But for all of its ancient strength, Svan is not facing the pressures of the modern world. Its future is, well, it's not so certain anymore. It's standing at a really critical crossroads.
And the numbers, they really paint a stark picture. Estimates of native speakers range from as low as 14,000 to maybe 40,000 at the high end. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's less than the number of people in a small sports stadium. For a language that's been around for 4,000 years, that is a very fragile foothold in our world today.
And this isn't just some linguist's observation. This is an official classification. UNESCO has listed Svan as a definitely endangered language, which is basically a global alarm bell that this ancient voice is at very real risk of going silent.
So why is this happening? Well, the pressures are mounting from all sides. Svan has no official status, so all the schooling, the media, the books, it's all in Georgian. Linguists are seeing that younger generations, especially in the bigger towns, aren't using it as much. And as families move out of Svaneti for work, that vital chain of passing the language down to the kids often gets broken. Which really brings us to a final, and I think a really important question. Losing a language like Svan isn't just about losing some words and grammar. It's about an entire human perspective, a unique cultural worldview, and a direct living connection to a 4,000-year-old past just blinking out of existence. It really makes you stop and think, what is it that we all lose when an ancient voice like this disappears forever?